listen, guys.
Let's see how cold this is.
That's how you know you
not
don't
bad.
have you're not an alcoholic, is because you care about the temperature and the taste. I feel like every other alcoholic just drinks to consume large amounts, and they don't care what the fuck it is or what it tastes like.
Yeah.
And I know some alcoholics. I'm not going to name anybody. I'm not even going to allude to anybody. But there's some dangers out there. That, there are some couple of guys out there that have to stop. But it's so hard to. What do you say?
I wish, I wish there was a. I'll tell you from my perspective. I haven't really talked about this totally, but I think everyone knows it. But like I did Rogan's podcast, and we were talking about how much we drank, and they were asking me, Ari and Tom and Joe were asking me, and they asked me how much I drank on a daily basis, and at the time, it was a high number, and I remember not wanting to say the real number, but I don't know how to represent myself in that way, like only because
that's interesting.
I've just been honest.
Yeah,
and I know they're my friends, and I know that they care about me, and I know that people listen. I know that that's the thing about podcasting is you want honesty. That Chuk story is like that's honesty,
Yeah.
And I told them, and the second I told them, I was like, I regret this immediately. And then, I woke up the next morning going like, I fucked up my career. Like, no one will ever be able to come watch me because they'll think that it's sad that I drink. And
No.
And then we did that Sober October Bert thing, and it was awesome. It was really great. And it kind of restructured the way I drank a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still have my nights where I go off the fucking rails. But for the most part, I remember saying out loud to people, because I was drinking a ridiculous amount at the time. But not bad, not like violent, not angry, just drinking and going to sleep. I remember saying to people going, if you have a friend who you think drinks too much, make it into a challenge that changes their lives. Like say we're all not going to drink for October or we're all not going to drink for November. We're all going to do it. No drugs. Find your weaknesses. We're not going to do it. And make it fun, and don't make it blamey, and don't make it like accusatory, like an intervention. Make it enjoyable, because those three guys literally probably changed my life for the better in that I didn't drink all of October. I did hot yoga, and I by the way,
yoga.
I did hot yoga 15 times.
Yeah, but I feel like a real alcoholic though wouldn't be able to do it.
I agree, but
I mean, because the people that are in that challenge, right? Who's in that challenge?
me, Tom, Ari, and Joe
Tom who?
Segura.
Okay. Ari Shafir?
Yep.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
None of you guys are drug addicts or
Well, yeah,
alcoholics.
but Joe was smoking weed.
I know, but he is not one.
No, but I know, but even I think, not to speak for Joe, I would never do that, but Joe said that it was really interesting to not smoke weed for a month, because what happens is you get into a rhythm in life. For me, my rhythm was I have a hard time going to sleep. So for me, a couple drinks puts me to sleep. I don't sleep great, but that whole month taught me that I can totally go to sleep without drinking. I do not need to drink to go to sleep. I'm a grown up. I'm not going to have nightmares. I don't need to have a Xanax. I can totally sleep without drinking.
Wow.
So for a whole month, I didn't drink. I barely drank coffee.
Wow.
Like, it was really enjoyable. I didn't lose any weight. Like, it wasn't like a game changer. But I think that's the approach. If you have a friend who drinks too much and you're worried about him, try the angle of like, hey, we're all in this together. Let's make this a month-long challenge. Because for me, and I was definitely drinking a lot, way too much then, I enjoyed that month a lot. And it crept over into February, into March, all of March practically.
Yeah.
Like where I just went, I'm home, I'm not drinking. Like I'm going to be home. I want to be with the girls. I want to just be home. And I didn't drink for 4 weeks in the all of March. And so I don't know. That's the way I look at it. Where I think people look at too much of a pointy finger thing, but
Right,
I don't
but
know.
that solidarity, I think, is the proper kind of support.
It was it was legit support. Like it was legit fun support. Like I'd run into those guys at the store and they'd be like, "You look good." Yeah, it was fun. We go to hot yoga together, the four of us.
Oh my
and we
God.
just bust balls and laugh hysterically. And then you'd go home and you wouldn't want to drink. You would never want to go get drunk after you just hang out with your friends for 2 hours. So I don't know. I don't know anything about recovery or anything. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, you don't need to know. And I'm going to say this about you also as well, if I may, that I believe that human beings, there are 20 prototypes, males, 20. They're female. 20 female prototypes. 20 males.
I love.
Basically, what I'm saying is that if we were androids, let's say we were an Android company, we made androids, right? Like a working class Android
20
company.
models.
We have 20 models.
I like this.
Now
kind
you
of
can
talk.
manipulate each model, right, the way you want. You want one model a little fatter, a little shorter.
Yeah.
But generally, the type, I feel like you and I are the same model.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
Dude, can I tell you when I agree with that the most?
Yeah.
When I hope you're cool talking about this, but when the Carlos Mencia video came out,
Oh my
and
God,
the
this
next day you gave the talk holding a cigarette,
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm that guy.
Can I just say this?
I've never identified with anyone more.
I can't believe you just said that.
Dude, 'cause
Video,
the
wow.
thing you did, the way you talked about it, the way you expressed regret, and it was such in the vein that I live my life. Where
Yeah.
I went, oh my God, dude, I can I tell you, I've pictured where you were in life, meaning like location. I was like, oh, he's in Los Feliz. He's out by his back step. The garbage is right by that door. Like I visualized that
Oh
place.
my God. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
Because that video plagued me.
for real.
Yeah, because this is how that happened. So Joe puts out that montage video of Mencia stealing and whatnot, and I was in the video.
I visualized how it happened to you. Can I tell you what I thought happened first?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, okay.
I thought you walked up to the store. You're like, hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah.
Someone's like, Bobby, you got a cigarette? You're like, oh yeah. I'm gonna smoke one too. And you lit a cigarette, and someone's like, and then everyone starts walking out, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there by the wall, and they're like, Bobby, what do you think about Carlos Mencia? And you just jokingly went, you mean Ned? Not knowing what had happened.
Yeah.
And then just walked away, and then all of a sudden the video comes out, and Carlos called you and was like, bro, what the fuck? Oh, he steals. Of course he steals.
Very similar to that.
I envisioned that so much because I was like,
His whole life was consumed.
because
It's so
you
funny.
were a little bit of the nail in the coffin in the storytelling. You and
Yeah,
Renazizi,
my God.
were a little bit of like the this is.
Oh my God.
So wait, tell me how it really
So
happened.
this is what happened, okay? So I'm at the Comedy Store, and Brian Redband at the time wasn't Brian Redband of today. Brian Redband was Joe Rogan's guy. His video autographer, his podcast guy, everything. And Brian Redband would always have a camera just on, right? And so I'm walking at night, like I always do, and somebody asked me, "What about Mencia stealing?" I don't see the camera.
Was this the same night that this whole thing went down? Or?
No, it was a collage of a bunch of different nights.
Oh, so it was a different night.
Right. So he got, and I said, I didn't know there was a camera there, and they said, "But Mencia stealing?" I go, "Yeah, he steals or whatever, you know." Then I noticed the thing, and then I go to Brian. I go, "Don't put that out there." And Brian goes, "No, I mean Joe makes the final decision, but we're probably not." It is right. So here's the fucked part.
By the way, you got to give a shout out to Brian Redman for shooting content a week earlier, then shooting this, and then realizing I got Bobby Lee saying that he steals. That's a good producer's mind. Like that's a really great. Like
It's crafty. Yeah.
That's Brian Redman's a gangster. He should. I wish he just started a production company where he made vlogs for comics because he's good at. He's so good at, in so many like he's great at comedy, but his artistic arm is really in branding, in like making content. He's so talented.
He could have had an empire though. I mean, he could
Don't
have.
get me started about that because I
He
really
could have
I
been
think
like
you're
All
right.
Things Comedy.
I think you're right.
You guys, what you guys are doing with us, also we're involved, is that you guys are creating a company that can last, and that can eventually produce things and get into the mainstream. And
Well,
whatnot.
we need one of us to. I don't want to lose train of this story.
Yeah.
We need one of us who's big to decide not to go on Netflix and release their special on All Things Comedy's platform, and that will not happen. I won't do it. I definitely won't do it.
I'm not the one.
I'm not the one. I'm
But
already.
if of you guys did it, you, Bill Burr, Ari, Tom.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've never done a special. I would do it on that.
How come you aren't doing specials?
I just don't. We'll talk about that in the next.
All right. Go back to
Anyway,
let's go back to
the thing.
Yeah.
So that video comes out, Now, I can do one or two things. Call Mencia and apologize profusely, or avoid him, right? And I couldn't do the second option because Mad TV was attached to the mind of Mencia. We shared the same studio.
Really?
On Hollywood Center Studios. So stage whatever are connected, right? So I'm sitting in my dressing room, and I get a knock on the door.
Oh wait, you shot that at Hollywood Center Studios?
Yes.
Of course you did.
Yes.
Of course you fucking did.
And it was
my first TV show shot there.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
You now you can see the steps and
I see the steps and the back wall and the railing.
Yeah.
Of course you fucking did.
Yeah. And then it wasn't Ned. It was his cousins and his brothers. Hey, bro, the video's out, bro. I go, yeah. I didn't do it. I'm a coward. I'm a coward, right? It
wasn't me.
Yeah, me too.
I said not to put it on, and then they put it out. Right? Like in that way. Well, you got to do a rebuttal, bro. I go, but I don't want to. You have to, dude. Ned wants it. So Carlos comes. They put me on those stairs.
Wait, did you call him, when you talked to him, did you call him Carlos or Ned? In life?
Ned.
In life?
Oh, yeah, always.
Really?
Yeah. He discovered me.
Really?
Yeah. Mencia without Mencia, I wouldn't have an agent or anything. I opened for him for 7 years.
It's so funny. I just met him at Ralphie's memorial.
Oh, wow.
We had through Cowhead, we had talked. Me and Cow was like, oh, he might come to the show, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't have any problem with him.
Yeah.
I've never had any beef with him. I mean, obviously, I know the backstory of him, but like, I've never experienced it firsthand.
It's a complex story, but my experiences with Ned were of a boss employee. And when I was in 1997, when I didn't have a car, he goes, bro, come over to my house. I have a present for you. He bought me a car. I mean, that's the kind of relationship I had with him.
He also took you home with him to Honduras?
Yeah, he took me to Honduras to visit where his homeland is and
Really?
his family. Yeah. And I lived in a village for a month. So my ties with him were really deep.
Oh, wow.
And so when that video came out, it was hurtful to me because I feel like I betrayed a friend. Mm-hmm. But what I said, was that true? Yes.
Yeah.
So now I'm caught in a thing.
Oh, dude.
So then
you're explaining me and the Jay Mohr shit.
Yeah.
That's me and Jay.
Yeah. So then he goes, come on, do a video. And I was like, I have to. So that's why when you see it, I'm like, it was pensive and whatnot. But when that came out, if you read the comments when they came out,
I saw him.
It was brutal.
Yeah, I know. I saw him.
Yeah.
So I definitely, you think I was a young comic?
Yeah.
You don't think I came out?
Like, you're done in comedy, you rat, you piece of shit. I mean, it went, not
There's
just 5
thing.
or 10. I'm talking thousands.
There's a weird thing in between having loyalty for somebody and then having loyalty to yourself. Like my words, what I say is true versus like I'll lie for this person.
Right.
And that fucked me up bad.
With Jay.
Yeah, because I was taught, by the way, I was taught to protect him. Like
Yeah.
I was made sure, like, working for somebody when you're their employee, and is very clear what that is.
Yeah.
There's no, like, for all you that don't understand, like, there are guys like, and I'll say Joe is like, Ari was always his friend and worked with him. Tom was his friend and worked with him. Joey was his friend and worked with him. If you work with Joe, Tony, if you work with Joe, you work with Joe.
Yeah.
You go out to eat, like, I will say this, I very candidly, Jay made it very clear to me one time that I worked for him, that I was his employee. Mm-hmm. And then there becomes this like weird fucking loyalty where you're like, I don't want to fuck up the boss's job because that's my job. Like, it's not like we're
weird.
buddies.
Because it's also...
and we were buddies.
Also, show business is intertwined in it. So you're dealing with now dreams are in the fabric of the relationship.
What's good for the company is good for me.
Yes.
And so, and then you do get lost in that I got to tell you, Bobby.
It's ambiguous what you're saying. I don't want to know what it was.
No. I'll talk really clearly about it. I have no problem sharing everything.
Okay.
So when I watched your video with the Carlos thing, I then I identified with you because Jay was telling a story that happened to me. He was, you know about this, right?
No.
Tracy Morgan story?
No.
It's a great story.
Tell me.
I'm not going to tell you the story, but I'm not going to do a bit. But he was telling a story that happened to me, and he was saying it as if it happened to himself. And so I found out about this. He told it on Opie and Anthony. He told it for the first time on Opie and Anthony. It was the first time I heard him say this happened to me. It killed me. It really killed me. By the way, I don't mean anything negative about Jay. I'm just telling you stuff that happened. Jay's come very far away in his life from this moment I'm talking about right now, and I'm a very far away from this. I'm not slandering Jay. I hope you don't see this. I'm just telling you two stories of two guys who were friends and worked with each other, just like you and Carlos.
Yes.
So it's just sharing. And so, well, the first time I heard it, it broke my heart. It didn't. I wasn't angry. I wasn't mad. I didn't feel betrayed. It broke my heart. I was like, oh, why would he do that way?
Yeah.
And then it got bigger. It got much bigger, and it's kind of spiraled out. And then I talked about it on Rogan's podcast, very candidly, like we're talking right now, where you don't realize people are listening.
Yeah.
I talked about it on Rogan's podcast, and the same thing that happened to you with Carlos happened to me, but directly with Jay. Why would you do that? Like, it was really like a bizarre fucking reality.
Yeah.
And I think Jay would admit this. It was a bizarre reality where like he was panicky, he was losing his mind. I was doing what you did. We just were like, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know another way to be right now other than honest. And I can't say anything more of Jay's intent after that because we stopped being friends.
Wow.
And but at the same time, that boss employee friendship is just unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's almost the reason I never brought anyone on the road with me because I was like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want you to ever feel like I'm your paycheck. I've had managers say to me, hey man, my kid's got to eat. You got to, don't do that. And I'm like, what? And I fire him immediately because I go, I can't have that. Like I want whatever I do on stage to be what I do on stage. But man, when that stuff with me and Jay happened, I looked back to that video you shot and the comments they left. I'm being dead serious, Bobby, and I hope this doesn't sound bad.
It took years. It took literally years for me to shake
I remember how you smoked a cigarette.
I can't believe it.
I remember that.
And when you brought it up like 20 minutes ago, it brought me back to it. Wow. Like it just like it rattled me into fucking consciousness.
Because I knew. By the way, I apologize to both Jay and Carlos for this episode.
That's the title.
Because I don't mean any hate on either of them.
Yeah.
As a grown man, I realize that my words may affect the way people go and see their ticket sales, and I don't want that for them. I hope that you just enjoy laughter and you go and if that's your thing, enjoy their shit. But I remember watching you visibly shake with a cigarette and going like, he doesn't mean this. This is that Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
This is a hostage saying they're treating me good, Mom. Like,
I
remember that so vividly.
Yeah.
And I was I'll just say in a form of representation, I was asked to do what you did.
Yeah.
And I chose against it because of your video, not because of anything other than I was like, I know Bobby doesn't want to do this. Like I fucking remember that so vividly, bro.
But I would have never done it if they weren't at my doorstep. They were like 6 guys, bigger Hispanic guys, visibly kind of aggressively angry, like they felt betrayal because I'm like, it's very Shakespearean. I stabbed, my master behind the back.
By the way, let's ballpark this from the other side.
Yeah.
Understandable to an extent because I remember I got into therapy right after the Jay and me shit went down. My biggest mistake I ever did was telling Joey Diaz I was in therapy, and he was like, dog, fuck that shit. That guy's got a fucking mortgage.
Yeah.
You meet me every morning for 8 a.m. at coffee. And me and Joey had an 8 a.m. coffee for a month.
Wow.
1 month every day, and he'd go, say everything you need to fucking say. And I would dump on him, and then Joey would come back and be like, here's the problem, cocksucker. But I know that feeling. I know that fucking feeling of like going, did I betray my master?
Yes.
I was being real. I was being honest, and I was being real.